Hey, Max here. So I made a post on Twitter about a month ago, July 31st, seeing as it is August right now, where I said I'm not having fun online in college football 25. And it was met with quite a few responses. Some talking about the online being awful, skill gap. There was a lot of FUs. But I think it brought up a really interesting point that I kind of feel like it's been bubbling, not necessarily under the surface, but over the surface. But I haven't really kind of talked about it, thought through it much, and I kind of want to go through my thoughts. The offline versus online debate, communities of football, and video game football, and NCAA specifically. But this has been something in the Madden community for years. You can see it because there was a lot of hatred towards myself and other online players by offline players, and I'm sure there's some animosity that goes the other way too. And I kind of want to talk about why it doesn't have to be this way. And why people feel this way and why EA can solve a lot of our issues by not alienating anybody. But anyways, let's talk about it right now. Why am I having fun with online in college football 25? One, the run game is very powerful. Pursuit's really bad. Defense in a tough spot. That kind of stuff. Even when you do have good defenses, you gotta blitz your way through because the natural pass rush ain't great. Abilities are overpowered, even though EA promised they'd be a lot better. How funny is that? A lot of people, the community, I don't know whether they lied to themselves or whatever, but basically, they were like, yeah, no X Factors, it's going to be great. When people need to realize X Factors were never the problem, right? Sometimes on, sometimes off stuff that was hardly triggered. That was not the problem versus universal on stuff. So, 360 is the wildest one out there right now, right? We see people, Junkins is banned in a lot of leagues or head-to-head play because of how crazy his spin moves on his regular card. Anybody with platinum spin goes crazy. Even lower gold spin still pretty darn problematic. And I'm going to talk about why that's okay, but why, there needs to be some changes and what EA can do in this video. It's kind of crazy, right? Because offline guys, and at least in the responses for some of them, were like, hey, screw you online guys. They made this game for offline stuff. I mean, it's kind of interesting how it is because offline itself has its own problems, but they seem to affect. And I love this game offline, right? I'm having a great experience in Dynasty. Check out my review on this game. I'm really loving it offline. But it feels like they're after years of EA catering and Madden to Ultimate Team and only recently coming back and making some changes to the franchise, they're really getting their screws in us, right? The players that actually play the game online. So even with the problems in offline play right now, right? Dynasty sims, Road to Glory, bugs, the shallowness of it at times for some people say, solo battles not working. It's kind of crazy because it's kind of like politics almost in my mind. Sure, you might be getting effed online guys, but as long as somebody's getting screwed harder, I love it, right? It feels very strange that they're satisfied that online guys aren't liking it because they are, having an okay time. Now, that says something about society, and we're not going to move on with that, but it's kind of crazy because I understand the hesitation from offline guys because we have had issues with patches in the past, right? Fall forward glitch. I think that was that Madden 19, 21, I don't know, in that era. I get the hesitation around gameplay patches because if you like the game, you don't really want to change because we've had major problems, 2 steps forwards, 1 step back. They screw up something else or they try to fix something. And that's, the game just came out. Do we want to patch this soon after it? Generally, no. I like them to wait a month before they make a big change to the game, see how it plays off. But obviously, there are some things overpowered like spins and stuff, but again, I don't think overpowered is necessarily bad, right? It harkens back to an earlier time in Madden. Remember Madden 16 era where we had overpowered Odell Beckham catches, but it was countered by overpowered A gaps. So you ran an A gap against me in a cover 3, we lobbed it at your head, with golden ticket Gronk, and we caught over your cover 3 1-on-1 because that's kind of how football is. If you're gonna send the house, we're going to take advantage of a mismatch on defense. Now, the overpowered spec catches versus the overpowered A gaps, and much more of that happened. Now, obviously, in 25 with this EA college sports, there's an issue and there's just bugs, right? And so sure, overpowered makes sense, but we're not really seeing so much overpowered on the defense, and it doesn't feel like a fun way. even though it's offensive focused, and even if they made it defensive focused, I think it matters a lot on how points are scored. Like, if defense only works because we can, like, run commit glitch them, or we can get an A-gap blitz glitch, or, like, 3-3-5, it's, like, it's very hard to, like, pick up around the edge glitch where the tackles don't kick back far enough. Like, that still doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel like football where we can set the same thing up over and over again, and it keeps repeating, and there's no, like, changes. Like, the players don't, like, I wouldn't say, like, adapt. Like, there's very little, like, funness to that, in my opinion, if everyone just spammed the same thing, right? Like Madden 17, everyone just spammed nickel blitz and made a lot of bad players really good because nickel blitz was unblockable, rushing 3, and like, even 5, and you just destroy dudes. So, there needs to be, like, that balance for online players, and like I talked about, without that balance for offline players, if you can just spam stretch, jet sweep every single play, what fun is it having these powerful players if the powerful plays overwhelm offline anyways? Like you could obviously run a double pass and score a touchdown every time against the CPU, and that's just not fun, okay? And so that's why, like, there does need to be fixes to help both offline and online. And that's why, like, this separation is not something that's true. There is things that will benefit them both. Like, and I'm not trying to argue get rid of, like, these overpowered abilities. I think, like, the argument I'm trying to make, and what EA should do, right, for a solution to this, to make both communities happy, to keep these powerful, because, like, here's the thing: nobody in the history of the universe can move this fast. Like spin like that. It's like Tasmanian devil type stuff. Okay, it has that, but, like, being able, offline at least, to break tackles like Prime Bo Jackson on a highlight film, like we saw on, like, Family Guy, like Tecmo Super Bowl, being able to chuck it up into coverage and come down with it like Megatron, right? Your defensive end can't be blocked one-on-one until, like, you know, the protection and double team happens. Like, that is fun. That is amazingly awesome for gamers. Straight up. Is it balanced online? No. Okay? So, what EA needs to do is keep the cool, powerful stuff. They gotta take it off. Like, there's no Barry Sanders in college football right now, in my opinion. There's great players. And they're great players, don't get me wrong, that will be NFL superstars. But they should probably take it off the platinum level, off a lot of these guys. Junkins, just take it off. Leave it in the game. But then allow online, like, because, like, we have the online head-to-head, that, like, the regs mode. And then for, like, dynasties, allow online commissioners to toggle them on and off in case you do or don't want to play against them. And then offline dynasty has that same option to play with or without them. And I feel like that helps both communities. Like, it balances the online aspect. The problem is, like, Cut will eventually add them, and then it's just going to be terrible again. But, like, they might have, like, some sort of, like, counter by that time, add a counter ability to stop some of this. But I know there are some defensive ones to, like, you know, help get more tackles and stuff, like wrap up, ultimate protection for broken tackles, and fake outs on standard tackles. Like, so there are sort of counters that we haven't even tried yet, so we don't even know how that plays off each other. But, like, that just, it feels like the toggles on and off and the ability to customize your dynasty and your plays and have these fun things and powerful abilities in the game needs to stay. Okay? But the balance for online players needs to be there as well. So, like, that's how you can solve both communities' problems, in my opinion. Okay? Let me know what you guys think overall. I think I kind of got what I wanted to say, but, like, there really shouldn't be a rivalry between offline and online, and, like, you know, the community splitting apart, even though we both play the same game, it feels awful when we're at each other's throat instead of just expecting more and better out of EA. That's my video. Bye. 20 for 200 rush yards and 3 touchdowns. Well, that concludes our online head-to-head portion of the stream.